hope you're all doing okay. Today I'm bringing you a art and crafts haul, and I'm going to start with the object I'm most excited to open. This is a label maker I found at the discount store, and like the other hauls I did, the first part is going to be about Action, the discount store, and then what I found in art stores. So I had seen this label maker before and I had enough willpower to resist and not buy it. But when I went back today and I saw it again, and I saw that it was €2.29 and the tape was €1, I was like, yep, you know what, I'm going to buy it, because I had been thinking about how I would be using it to label notebooks, to add to my scrapbook, and I just really wanted to play with it anyway. So the label maker comes with two wheels. One has upper caps, one has lower caps. It comes with a black roll of tape, and they didn't have any other black or grey tape to buy, which I would have preferred, and so I took some colors just to have some backup. I have these purple ones and this grey and blue one. I hope this is kind of a universal kind of tape, so I can buy some grey and black one. I have absolutely no idea how that works. The pictures aren't too helpful, so cue in the ASMR montage and let's go. Alright, I think I have figured it out, so I'm going to try to do it. What I wanted to use this for, what I immediately thought about, was to label the cover of my daily scrapbooks. So let's see how it goes. I hope this works, because this is really fun. Is there a space somewhere? Can't I have enough? Okay, hold on a minute. I don't have space on this. What? There is no one on the wheel. Is there a one on this one? There is no one on this one. What? Come on. Do you see this? There is no one on the wheel. That's... Come on. I know you were €2, but still, it's not nice. Okay. So apparently I'm supposed to cut it myself. And as you can see, when I pulled the tape to make some space, something happened. So I have a daily boop. That's nice. But the daily is quite nice. Is this a... Okay, so this is tape. Okay, so I can just cut this. I'm going to keep the daily boop for my what is it called? For my daily scrapbook, because this is funny. And I will try to do a daily scrapbook. I will try to do a daily scrapbook after, when I'm more calm. But it works. So let's see. There is no one, but it works. So I'll try to label my scrapbooks after that. I didn't even think to look when I bought it if there was a one on the wheel. It's just... I was sure there were numbers on this wheel, but no, it's only the lower caps. Why isn't there a one? Oh, maybe because you're supposed to use the I for the one? I don't know. That's confusing. Anyways, so this was a label maker. After that, I bought some paint stuff. I have been making collages, and my one and only little white acrylic paint tube is near the end of its life, and I thought I could use in its place some of my gesso, but I noticed that the patterns I painted with the white gesso mixed in are really, they're quite milky. Look at this, the blue parts are really, yeah, wait, I don't have any other words than milky. And I'm sure it's fine for some patterns. I think it would be lovely if I was doing a seascape, but it's not what I wanted to do. So I thought I would buy a tube of acrylic, of white acrylic. So I thought I would buy a tube of white acrylic paint. I wish it had come in a smaller tube, but that's okay. And I just wanted to show you what I've been doing with collages. So this is my first try, and I think it's really, really cute. And painting the pattern paper for collages is so fun because there is no rule, you just have to have fun with the paint. Try to make as many marks as possible, as many variety. You get to mix paint, which I love. I love to mix colors. I love to create marks, and it's just so relaxing. So even if I don't end up using this painted paper to make collages, I just have fun just doing the paper. I also wanted to buy more larger paint brushes because I only had like smaller ones like this, and I wanted really to have some texture on my paint. And I also wanted to buy these palette knives because I wanted to try them to mix the paint, and I also wanted to use them to create some texture. I also wanted them for something else, and now I can't remember what. I've never used palette knives before, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about it, but I'm sure YouTube is going to show me the way. Okay, so there are 3 paint brushes, and I must say this one is very cute. I really want to do a big background painting session tonight. I'm going to have a lot of fun with these ones. I also bought some paper. The first thing is this little pad of paper. It's 100 grams, it's really thin. It's only printed on one side, and I don't like all the patterns that comes in this block, but I think it was 99 cents. And I don't like all the patterns, but some of them are really cute and neutral. And this is the kind of paper I would use to mat my pictures, just to create a little differentiation from the background. And it just 99 cents, guys. It's just what. These pad of papers were a bit more expensive than the small ones. They were €2. So you know, if you don't like every single sheet of paper in a pad of paper, for €2 you'll get over it. So this is the most recent one I bought because I didn't buy all of them today. This is the one I bought today. And when I saw these neutral background, this is like recycled paper, and these vintage looking ones with these ones that look like scribbling, I thought it would be gorgeous in some spreads. And I don't really like that kind of thing, but I've realized that I can cut up those kind of patterns and reuse them in collages if I don't want to use them in scrapbooking. So this was quite a revelation and quite a good excuse to continue to buy pads of papers. Look at this. This is beautiful. I hope I get to use it soon. This one I bought because it was quite neutral. I don't like the foil element, but the foil is only on some of the pages. So you see here we have a foil element, but here we have the normal version of the paper, and I think that's a gorgeous modern looking like paper. And I really like how bold and graphic it was sometimes. When I saw this one, I was not convinced because, you know, that I'm not a person that likes cheetah print or leopard print. You know, if you like it, that's okay, but that's not me. But when I opened it, I noticed that most of them were these gorgeous neutral sheet of paper that I can easily use to mat or to create a background in my scrapbook pages. And yes, this is not going to get used, except maybe if I do a prank birthday card, but these vintage looking ones and this jute like one, these are going to get used a lot. And the last one is not one I thought I would enjoy, but the boldness of the patterns and the gorgeous dark blue was just, I've been loving it and I've been using it quite a lot. I didn't say, but these pads of paper are 12 by 12 and they're 250 grams, so they're quite thick. They're really good quality. I've been using this scrapbook paper for 2 or 3 years and it's just unbelievable. The quality of it for €2 is just, I love them so much. When I saw this box, I almost died. It is a miniature set. Look at this. There is a little house with little small furniture and a little ferry bridge and a little ferry river and a little well. It's just, I saw it and I squealed in the store. It was, and then you can light it up. It's, oof. So I've already opened it because how couldn't I open it? Look, little house here. And it's super nice to be able to carry this if you want to be working while you're traveling. So you have all the little bits here, the texture, the little textures, the vegetation and stuff. You have the usual manual. What's this? Oh yeah, you have the little boards to create the little house. Look at this, it's a little fence. Oh, I'm dying. You have the little box and you have the little thing for the fairy lights and little rocks. Okay, so the box, Enchanted Forest. Oh my god. It's a pretty standard box and you're supposed to build the miniature this way. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be standing up. Maybe they give you a little thingy so that it stays that way. It would be nice if you could close it again after you've built it, but like a little secret. But I'm really looking forward to building it. Usually there is paint or glue given in those kit, but there isn't in this one, so you will need to add them, which is a bit annoying because you would think that you would have everything that you need in this box. I have a last minute addition to do to this haul, and yes, you have discovered my secret. I don't film the clips for hauls at the same time because I don't buy all the things together. It's usually filmed over weeks, over months. But anyways, I need to film this now and I don't have time to reset the set to make it seem like I have filmed everything together. I went to the discount store to buy some packing tape because I'm moving, but obviously I left the discount store without packing tape, but with a new miniature set. This is exactly the set I wanted to buy when I first got interested in miniatures. This is so adorable. And the miniature sets at Action, at the discount store, are usually 7-8 euros. When you know that miniature sets can go up to 70-90 euros, I'm really happy to be able to buy this. It's a really great way to get started with miniatures, to know if you like to do them. And I thought I was done when I saw this, but then I saw this, and their packaging is always so cute. And you see that they even used a picture from this kit to use on this box of a magnifying glass, a magnifying lamp for crafting. Since I've had laser eye surgery, I don't see that well up close anymore. So this is awesome. So you basically get a lamp plus magnifying glass that you can I find it? Yeah, that you can clip on the table, and then you can adjust the lamp, the magnifying glass as you wish. And this is very portable. And now we're going to resume to our normal programming with the next part of the haul. So this was everything for my discount haul. This I have shown in a short video, but I did not explain properly what it was. For me, it was obvious what it was about, but I've had comments since that said that they did not understand what it was, and when they did understand, they loved it much more. So this is my DMC swatch book, and it's one of my favorite purchases I've made in my life. Okay, let me back up. I embroider quite a bit, and I've been doing quite a lot of projects recently, and I've been looking up colors to see which colors I could use in a project, because I don't have an art store close to me that has embroidery floss. So if you have to take a 10-minute car ride to look at floss every time I want to see a new color, this is not going to work for me. So I looked up what kind of color swatches they had, and they have a printed version of this one, but when I look up colors on the DMC website, DMC is a brand of embroidery floss, if you didn't know. When I look up the colors on their website, they really don't reflect correctly what I have in my hands, and maybe the swatch version would be much more accurate, but I didn't want to tempt it, so I bought myself the version in which it's real floss, and it's, wait for it, it's just, whew, it's not finished. That's finished. It's just unbelievably gorgeous. You have every single DMC embroidery floss. You have the specialty embroidery floss here with the metallic ones. You have the ones that have several colors in it. You have the ombre ones. It's just, for an embroidery nerd like myself, this is so gorgeous. It's a bit of a splurge, but I love it. It's so beautiful, and if you didn't know it existed, well, go buy it. I went to my local art store that I really like, that opened 2 years ago, before there weren't really many options in my town. And when I saw this Canson watercolor sketchbook, I could not resist. It's made with the Montval paper, and the Montval category of watercolor paper is 300-gram watercolor paper. It's not too textured. It works nicely if you don't use too much water, if you do wet and dry. And it's the paper I go back to when I want to experiment, because it's quite a bit less expensive than 100% cotton paper, and I really like that paper. And I had been thinking that I wanted to buy a proper watercolor sketchbook, and when I saw this one, it's cloth bound. It has this thick elastic band. It feels really sturdy. I love that it's ring bound. When you paint, you can just open it like that, but you can just do this to have a smooth surface and to be able to tape your paper to your surface, and I just love that. I think it was 13 euros, so I hope now I end up using it, but is it weird if I say how much I love the elastic band and how thick and wide it was, and the lovely cloth band? Well, I said it now. That day I also bought my first Posca paint. I've never been really curious about Posca paints because I don't use them when I craft, but I had been wanting to have a white opaque paint to add highlights on my drawings or in my watercolors, and the Sakura gel pen I was using did not work all the time, so I took the Posca 0.7 millimeters. It has a little felt tip, and I used it, and I was quite happy with how opaque it was, and having a Posca marker on my desk makes me feel really legit. I'm afraid I treated myself quite a bit. I bought this lovely 20 pencils set from Caran d'Ache. It's the Luminance colored pencils, and there's just, the box is so pretty. Why did I buy a set? I didn't want to make the same mistake I did with the Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils, which was to buy them one by one at the art store, which in the end costs a lot more than to buy several sets. And because I got a lot more interested in pencils that you could really blend together and layer, I wanted to buy a set, and I was hesitating between the Prismacolor Premiers and the Luminance, but a friend of mine has the Prismacolor Premiers, so I can try them out a bit. And I already have 3 or 4 Luminance. When I was drawing, I noticed that these pencils were much more effective at blending and layering than the Faber-Castell ones. For example, you can layer and blend the Faber-Castell ones, that's true, but up to a point. With the Luminance, it seems that you can layer them a lot more, and they blend so well together. They're basically like pastels in a way, but much more convenient because they're in a pencil form, and the box is just gorgeous. I only bought a 20 pencil set because they're really quite pricey. I think the 20 pencil set is 50 euros, so much more expensive than the Faber-Castell and the Prismacolor Premiers. Look at this gorgeous box. I love it. I want to keep them in this box forever. So the lid is padded, and then you have the pencil in this gorgeous little, I don't know how to call it, but it's just all softly snug in their little compartment. And these colors are just beyond anything. I already had the yellow pencils, the other one I didn't have. I'm particularly happy about the black one because I have a black Faber-Castell one, but this one is much more opaque. This green one is amazing. I've already started using them. I love them all. They're just, in this blue one I had nothing like that. Well, I'm in love. I want to keep them in their little box forever. Next, I bought another thing that I'm not sure is totally necessary, but I was really curious about this Click and Go by Faber-Castell. It is a foldable water pot. So it looks that way when it's folded, and then ta-da, it's a bigger pot. It has this ribbed detail here, which makes it perfect to have your brush on it. And I bought it because I'm traveling this summer and I'm going to be painting in different areas. I don't like to paint with a water brush, so I need a water pot. And I thought this one would be perfect to keep in my bag instead of the plastic cups I would get in hotels. I've also treated myself to a new paintbrush by Black Velvet. It's a silver Black Velvet size 2. I already have a size 6, and in fact I wanted to buy a backup for my size 6 in case anything happened to it, but the size 6 wasn't available right now, so I thought I might buy a smaller size to see if it would make it easier to paint even smaller details. I was always curious to see if the Black Velvet brushes were as good as everyone says, because when you see a picture from an artist on Instagram or someone on YouTube, they're almost always using Black Velvet brushes, and you just think, is it worth the hype? It is so worth the hype. With the size 6, the brushes, they come to a really, really fine point, and you can make details like I've never seen before. And they're really easy to use, even for beginners like me. The thing is that they're pricey brushes. I think this one was 15 euros. And the size 6 was 19 or 20 euros, I can't remember. But they're really worth it. Since I've bought the size 6, I have not used any other brushes. I can basically travel with one brush and I have everything I need. It's just great to do details, but because the body of the brush is bigger here, you can do larger areas. And yeah, so you buy a 20 euros or 30 euros brush, but you can do everything with it, so I think this is worth it. because I was practicing quite a bit of wet on wet watercolors, I needed to buy more of 100% cotton 300 grams paper. This is the brand that my art store has, and it's a lot less expensive than the Arches watercolor paper, which I have, but I use it really sparingly. I don't see a lot of differences between this 100% cotton paper and the Arches one. The texture is a little bit finer, and obviously the Arches is the superior one, but for practicing, this one is still very good. I wanted to buy the same sketchbooks I already had, the black ones that you would have seen in my sketchbook tour, but there weren't any more at the art store, so I decided to try this artist one. It's a one for mixed media. It's 250 grams. I decided to try this brand because I really like the format. It's exactly the same size as my Anna Müller one, and the texture is much smoother than the Anna Müller one. And the Anna Müller is 160 grams. This is 250, so I thought it would be perfect to have watercolor or gouache sketches. And I also saw this little cute one, so pretty, so cute. And I thought it would be really nice to have in my bag when I'm out and about. I can just have a pencil with me, and if I want to sketch, I can do it. It's my great dream in life to be a person that can just take out a sketchbook from their bag and start sketching in any places. So I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.